It was Serbian night in Chicago as the Nuggets go on a bull run. You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. Let's get it. How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So the Nuggets took on the Chicago Bulls tonight. As you can see, I'm wearing some Chicago Bulls attire. I am still a fan of Chicago Bulls, have been ever since Michael Jordan. So it just is in me. I love the Bulls no matter what. No matter how bad they play, I will always like them. But being a Coloradan, Nuggets are always my priority. So I still root for the Nuggets even in these games, but I have to wear a little bit of Bulls attire just to, support the MJ days, And so tonight the lineup was Jokić, Michael Porter Jr., Christian Braun, Brody, and Jamal Murray. The Nuggets were wearing their white jerseys, the Bulls with their black jerseys. Once again, it was Serbian night, so it's always a good night when the Nuggets roll into Chicago. 'Cause I feel like the NBA plans this intentionally, since Vucevic and Nikola Jokić are both Serbian, so they make sure that they play on Serbian night in Chicago, because Serbian night last season was actually in December, and then this time around it's in January when they meet up. So it's like almost like they pair it with the Nuggets. But it was a great game for the Bulls and a half horrible game for the Nuggets, because the Bulls won. Final score 129-121. Sad about it for the Nuggets, but I'll say that again for the Bulls. The Bulls won. Let's go. 129-121. That's for all my Bulls fans if you're out there and dig the Bulls. But still really unfortunate that the Nuggets got a second loss, so they have now on a back-to-back loss. And as we know, for the Nuggets, they don't like to go on back-to-back losses, so hopefully that gets better. What happened in the game? Let's break that down. So first quarter, the Nuggets started strong, controlling the tip, which led to a Jamal Murray dunk for the first points of the game. However, Chicago quickly responded, sinking back-to-back threes to take a 2-point lead, forcing Coach Malone to call an early timeout. The Bulls capitalized on a defense lapse by the Nuggets, draining an uncontested three. Every single uncontested three in this game, the Nuggets would be just standing in the paint, looking out to the arc. No one approaching the shooters, trying to contest them, trying to disrupt them, trying to give them different looks, more difficult looks. The Bulls are one of the teams that shoots the highest amount of three-pointers. And that's basically how they won this game, was sinking threes, and more specifically sinking uncontested threes. It was embarrassing. As a Nuggets fan, it was very embarrassing. And that's where, I don't mind the Nuggets losing to the Bulls, as long as the Nuggets show some kind of effort. There was no effort at all tonight. They just kind of showed up and are like, well, we know that the Bulls have a bad record, so we'll probably win. You can't show up that way to every game against sub 500 teams. And we've already seen that with the Wizards. So this was a very bad loss for the Nuggets. This was an embarrassing loss. They have multiple embarrassing losses now. I think this season now, there's so many horrible losses for the Nuggets that you can't even say which one is the most embarrassing one, because there's so many now that you can't even really figure out where was the floor. Where do we hit rock bottom? Because it feels like we're hitting rock bottom constantly with some losses. They're just bad losses. And especially in a game like this where you were up 10 and then you lose by 8. So this was once again in the first quarter. This started off with uncontested threes. The Nuggets, though, did bounce back with an impressive hustle play. And this was just kind of a really sloppy moment. But the Nuggets lost the possession, and then MPJ grabbed a rebound and launched a long pass to Jokić, which then was intercepted by Vucevic, only for him to send it and MPJ to intercept that and to recover it and to send it to Christian Braun, who then tapped it to Jokić, who put it in for a layup. Like, it was a very impressive play, but at the same time, very sloppy because none of it was intentional at all. It was just reflexes, hopefully trying to get some kind of points out of it, and it was sloppy on both ends. The Bulls right now are naturally sloppy. They have very sloppy games. That's why they're below 500. They have not been a put-together team yet. They're completely sloppy. There are some teams that play horrible or that lose a lot, but they still play well, and there's just one little thing that's preventing them from winning. The Bulls are completely sloppy. For the majority of their games, they are a sloppy team right now. And yet it worked out for them against the Nuggets because the Nuggets can sometimes be an even sloppier team. And this was just a battle of the sloppiness between teams. It's very similar to the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves last game weren't very put together. As much as everyone's saying like, oh, they were aggressive and everything. They were aggressive, but they were also very sloppy. There was a lot of plays where they were sloppy there too. And the Nuggets just out-sloppied them to take the L, So this play specifically, as amazing as it was built off of sloppiness, and so this just kind of created the story flow for the rest of the game. The quarter ended with a perfect alley-oop though from Jokić to Aaron Gordon. That great alley-oop that we love to see between those two ended the first quarter, and the Nuggets took the first quarter 35-32. So already they gave up 32 points. It was a very close game from the first quarter. They're only up by 3. Second quarter, though, started with Jokić on the bench. Aaron Gordon stepped in as the 5. Started which, normally DJ's been the 5, and this time around Malone went with Aaron Gordon. I have no idea why. I wouldn't have started Aaron Gordon as the 5 in this game. I would have definitely put in DJ, still put Aaron Gordon out there, but you put DJ as the 5 because with those two together, we are getting a lot more aggression that we are losing without them on the floor. And that's one thing that Malone, he's been doing well with putting DJ on there, and yet for some reason he's been taking him off lately, and I don't like it. Put DJ in. DJ has shown that he can add the aggressiveness that we need. But the Bulls opened up with a turnover for the second quarter, which nearly turned into one for the Nuggets as well. But instead, Strother was able to go down on the floor, like dive on the floor for the ball that almost got turned over. And then for a brief second, he just kind of grabbed the ball, looked around, and there were several open Nuggets players that he could have passed the ball to. Instead, he just held on to it. And luckily, he got fouled, but that could have easily have gone into a jump ball, which then we could have easily have missed the jump ball. So there was a very sloppy play by Strother tonight. Peyton Watson, though, got things rolling with a dunk for the first points of the quarter. Jokić re-entered the game at the 6:30 mark, immediately making his presence felt by converting an assist from Brody into a bucket, drawing the foul, which was awesome, and completing a 3-point play for the first 50. And already there's signs here kind of making you think, okay, Nuggets are going to win this. We won the first quarter. We got the first to 50. We're still in the lead. Shortly after, Brody got fouled and sank both free throws, pushing Denver into the bonus and extending the lead to 10. So now we have a 10-point lead in the second quarter. We're already the first one's to 50. We won the first quarter. Come on, let's go. Both teams, though, struggled with sloppy plays leading to multiple turnovers, but the Nuggets managed to capitalize on those turnovers, luckily. And the Nuggets win the first quarter 33-29. So now you have a 4-point win in the second quarter, which got us to a 7-point lead into the half, 68-61. And then you would think they would just continue to build off of that. But the most frustrating thing about the Nuggets is they continuously stop playing basketball after they are up in the half. I don't think we've won one single game this year where we have won all 4 quarters. It's just frustrating. And tonight, after the half, the Bulls actually showed up to play the second half of the game. The Nuggets took a relaxer pill or whatever and chilled the fuck out, and they didn't know what to do after that. So the Bulls started the third quarter with another turnover, and Jamal quickly took advantage, assisting Jokić with a dunk to open the scoring. So already we kind of look like we're okay. We're gonna do well. And a driving layup from Brody extended the Nuggets' lead, forcing Chicago to take an early timeout. But the Bulls then, after that timeout, they saw red and they charged ahead. Bulls responded with an 8-0 run, including 2 uncontested threes. This has been something I have hounded the Nuggets for every single game of this season. Every single game there is uncontested threes. It is so maddening. Do something. Don't just stand there and watch them shoot. So this is definitely no difference. And so, again, uncontested threes, prompting Coach Malone now to call a timeout. Christian Braun, though, sparked a 6-0 run from the Nuggets, building back to a 10-point lead. However, the Bulls then roared back with a 12-0 run to take a 2-point lead. Come on now, Nuggets. This is just ridiculous. You got outplayed by a sub-500 team again and lost your 10-point lead that you had twice already, and now you're in the negative, forcing Malone to take yet another timeout. He used up his timeouts very early, too. It actually prevented him from doing a challenge. So my last episode, I was calling Malone out for not doing a challenge. This time around, I understood why he didn't do a challenge when he needed to, because he only had one timeout left, and then if that doesn't go through, then you lost your timeout. So I understood there, but he could have also have called a challenge on some of the earlier plays, but he didn't. And so out of this timeout, Jokić did sink a 3 to reclaim a 1-point lead for the Nuggets. Later then, Peyton Watson grabbed an offensive rebound and dished it to Jokić, who sliced through the defense for his 5th dunk of the night. Jokić had an amazing night. CB had an amazing night. I don't know what happened to the rest of the team, because those two showed up to play basketball. And Peyton Watson definitely, I think, was our best defender tonight. At least one of them. Horrible with the offense, though. Peyton Watson missed a dunk with that he has been known to miss several times before because he goes with one hand instead of both hands. And then after this dunk from Jokić, technical foul was given to Vucevic, who gave Jokić a free throw, nudging the Nuggets back to a 1-point lead. And then despite the back and forth action, the Bulls then took the third quarter 34-28. Freaking ridiculous, man. The Nuggets opened the fourth quarter with a missed 3-pointer from Julian Strawther, and the Bulls capitalized with a layup for the first points. Chicago followed up with 2 quick buckets, becoming the first to reach 100 points and forcing an early timeout from Coach Malone. So one of the things that I've noticed in several Nuggets games before this is that when we are the first to 100, it's usually a good indicator that we are going to win the game. And so if in this case, we were not the first to win or go to 100 points. We won the first, which was a good indicator we were going to win the game. We got the first to 50, which was a good indicator. We even won the first half, which was a good indicator. But then this had at the end, the Bulls got to 100 first. And then the Nuggets kind of just started to slack off, and turnover troubles plagued the Nuggets, allowing the Bulls to stretch the lead to 10. So we were up by 10. And then we were down by 10. That's just crazy. Points with, and this was with 9 minutes left in the game too. 10-point lead for the Bulls, 9 minutes left. Christian Braun, though, broke the drought with a layup to get the Nuggets to 100 finally, while Jokić grabbed a rebound to secure another triple-double. Dude's just having an amazing season, and I wish that the rest of his team would also follow suit. But despite their struggles, the Nuggets kept fighting, cutting the lead to just 3 points at times. This actually happened several times. They cut it down to 3, and it looked like the game was in grasp. And then Chicago would sink another 3 to go back up to 6. The Bulls then closed out the quarter strong, winning 34-25. Like, come on, Nuggets. This is just embarrassing and so stupid. Like, start playing games. Take the season seriously. You're not taking it seriously at all. I just really struggle. It just really is frustrating. And especially, I'll get into the big takeaways later, but it's just really stupid. And they sealed the game with a 129-121 victory over the Nuggets. So let's go, Bulls. Trying to stay positive here. Let's go, Bulls. Horrible Nuggets loss here. And we'll get into stats after this. Hey, everyone. Let's talk sound quality. Imagine having pro-level audio that's easy to set up, flexible, and sounds incredible. That's the Røde Pod Mic USB. It's got both USB and XLR connections, so whether you're recording solo at home or in a full studio setup, you're covered. And get this, the built-in DSP effects let you adjust the sound with zero lag. You get that deep, smooth broadcast tone right out of the box. It's versatile, powerful, and basically makes your voice sound like pure gold. And we're back. All right, so stats here. We have Christian Braun, who played 32 minutes tonight, 38 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 11 for 15 from field goals, 2 for 4 from three-pointers, 4 for 4 from free throws, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. He was a +4. 28 points. That's a career high for him. That's awesome. Almost 30 points there. Like, no one on Chicago's side got more than 21 points, and that was Zach LaVine. But everyone else, they only had 2 people in 20. And so, like, Christian Braun did get 28, and Jokić had an awesome night. Michael Porter Jr., though, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, 7 for 15 from field goals, 2 for 8 from three-pointers, 2 for 2 from free throws, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. He was a +1, though for the majority of the game, he did not have a good game at all. I don't know what's going on with Michael Porter Jr. He's just really not been showing up to play lately. It takes him a long time to get activated. He had a better fourth quarter than he did anything else, but it was too little too late, But Nikola Jokić played 39 minutes. He shouldn't have had to play 39 minutes. He should have played 30 minutes because we should have had a 20-point lead, but we didn't. We gave it up. And so he played 39 minutes, made 33 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, was 15 for 21 from field. At one point, he was 100% efficiency. He had 11 for 11. Then he started to miss, but that's just amazing. 1 for 4 from three-pointers, 2 for 2 from free throws, 4 turnovers. So he had the most amount of turnovers tonight. 1 personal foul, and he was a +1. And then Russell Westbrook played 34 minutes, had 14 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. He was 6 for 10 from field goals, 0 for 1 from three-pointers, 2 for 2 from free throws, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, was a +6. Jamal Murray played the most amount of minutes once again, 40 minutes, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 8 for 20 from field goals, 1 for 5 from three-pointers, 1 for 1 from free throws, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, was a -16. And then I'm not going to get really into the bench here. It was horrible all around. Like, Julian Strawther didn't make anything. He had 0 points tonight. Pitt Watson had 1 block, though, so he continued his new blocking streak per game. So that's awesome, but it was just a very sad game for the Nuggets. Overall points we got here, we have 42 rebounds to their 47. We had 36 assists to their 35, 13 steals to their 11, 5 blocks for their 5. And we had 52 percentage on field goals. They shot 50%. We shot 22% from 3. They shot 45%. Like, come on. 87% for them for free throws. We shot 100%, so that's one good sign. We'll take that. We didn't miss a single free throw tonight, so sing with the good vibes there. And we had 14 turnovers. They had 17, so we had less turnovers than them. So that's also a good sign. They had 14 personal fouls. We had 11. So, I mean, as horrible as this loss was, if when you look on the paperwork, everything on the paperwork says that we should have won. And we didn't, because at the end of the day, there wasn't enough urgency to win the game for the Nuggets. And that's just been a consistent issue right now with these Nuggets. They can't even get past a 4-game winning streak. It's just really unfortunate that they can't go on a 7-game winning streak or even just a 5-game winning streak. We've only had one, and it was early in the season when everyone else was already trying to figure out things. So it almost feels like that 5-game winning streak at the beginning of the season doesn't even count. But we'll get into big takeaways after this. As a cinematographer, photographer, and now a podcaster, I do believe lighting is everything. And if you're serious about creating dynamic content, you need to check out Nanlite. They're all about precision and control. Whether it's soft, natural lighting or vibrant colors, Nanlite gives you full flexibility to set the mood for any scene. From compact LEDs to powerful softboxes, Nanlite has light solutions that fit every setup. It's ideal for photographers, like myself, videographers, like myself, and creators who want to pro-grade quality right out on their fingertips. With Nanlite, you're lighting like a pro every time. And we're back. All right, so big takeaways. There was a lot of sloppy plays extending from the Timberwolves game. Like I was saying before, like the Timberwolves game, yeah, we lost by a lot, but we could have actually won that game had we actually tried, or at least at the very minimum, we could have lost by a lot less than what they ended up beating us with, because the Timberwolves were not on their A game either in that game. Same thing with this game. The Bulls were not on their A game. We just out-sloppied them. And that's just really frustrating and really not fun to watch. You want to watch your team actually play hard. And I know that there's 82 games, but that's what they get paid for. So I don't really have a lot of sympathy for them on that point. Like, just play hard. Like, give us the good games that we want to watch. And this is why a lot of people get bored with Nuggets games, because the Nuggets play really sloppy. And the thing I can't really stand, and I've said this before, is the shooting and then immediately going back instead of trying to get the offensive rebound. The Nuggets are so bad at this. They continue to shoot and then head back over instead of actually trying to get the rebound, fighting for the rebound or whatever. And there was actually a lot of times where the Bulls did this too. And so you had shot, brick, go over, shot, brick, go over, shot, brick, go over. Like, it was just back and forth. And it was like, what are we watching right now? This is so boring. Like, stop trying to shoot threes. And then their sloppy plays, though, allow other teams to get clear, easy threes. As we saw tonight, as we saw with the Timberwolves, and as we've seen with other games before this, they don't contest threes, and their sloppy plays allow teams to get those easy threes easily, very easily. And it's not going to stop. We have a lot of difficult games this week, and we have a lot of difficult games next month. So they need to get their asses into gear. It's time. Like, we're way past the halfway mark now. And this is the end of the season part that we need to kick it into high gear to try to get a good slot in the playoffs. But it didn't feel like the Nuggets are trying hard in these last games. Like I've said, the last two games, the teams they are playing seem like they want to win more than the Nuggets. The Nuggets just don't have that urgency. We had a chance tonight, too, to finally make a dent towards getting that third seed, because the Grizzlies lost tonight. They lost to the New York Knicks. So another positive note here is that the Knicks won. Woo! But this should have been a win for us. This was a must-win game that the Nuggets once again stumbled on and gave up on, and that's also the frustrating part. Like, we had it. We were so close. We were this close to making a run for the 3rd seed. And I don't know if the Grizzlies are going to have another loss anytime soon. That was a good team that they lost to, so they're also a good team. So I don't see them losing much in the next couple of weeks. So we're probably going to stick in the 4th seed, if not drop to the 5th seed, because the Lakers are on a winning streak right now too, and they're nipping at our heels. So who knows? CB, though, sticking with the good vibes here, CB had an amazing night. Jokić had an amazing night. There is hope for the Nuggets to get better, especially off of 2 losses. And this is where I really want the overall vibe to happen from, is that one thing that we know about the Nuggets is they do not go on 3-game losing streaks. They will go to 2, but then the 3rd game, they are whining. Malone refuses to have the Nuggets go on a 3-game losing streak. So next game, the Nuggets will hopefully win. I have good faith in them winning, and that's also against the Knicks, which the Knicks already got their glory. Giving the Nuggets their asses in the Mile High. So the Knicks don't need to sweep us. This should be a win for the Nuggets. I'm hopeful, and then they can start to chip away at that 3rd seed once again. Maybe hopefully try to get it after the break. Because then we also have, when we come back from this 5-game road journey, then we face the Pelicans twice in a row, who are a lot better now than they were when we faced them last time, who we were also still struggling to win against. They didn't even have Zion, and now they have Zion, and this is going to be a hell of a matchup when we get back to the Mile High. So I don't think that the pathway is as easy as it is, or as we thought it was going to be now. Because then also after that, then we have back-to-back matches against Portland, and they're playing at a higher level now too. So, and they've also already beaten us. So this is not going to be an easy path to the All-Star break. This is going to be a very uphill battle, and I don't see the Nuggets winning a lot of the games right now. I think that at the most they're going to maintain their 4th seed, and hopefully coming out of the All-Star break, we'll have the best record coming out of that, and that will allow us to chip away at that seed position. And so, but let's take a look at what the loss did tonight for the Nuggets. So it actually helped build padding for the Bulls, because now they have a 1.5 game padding between them and the 76ers. So they're hanging in their 10th seed in the East Conference. And that is also, that ended, they were on a 7-game losing streak. We ended their losing streak. So they now are starting back to 1 win. We now have 2 losses, and we are on a 28-18 win-loss record. We are exactly 1 game ahead of the Lakers. We used to be 3 games ahead of them. We are now down to 1 game ahead of them. Memphis took a loss tonight, so that did help us. We are now still 2.5 games behind them, but we are now no longer able to catch up to the 2nd seed, because the Rockets won against the Celtics tonight. And so we are now 3.5 games behind the Rockets, and I don't see us, catching that at all this season. We'll probably at the very least, or at the very most, we'll end this season on a 3rd seed, but I don't think we're getting that 2nd seed anymore. So, just setting up expectations, and sometimes that is good. So now we know that, okay, we're going to hang around this area, and let's just focus on playing the hardest that we can in the playoffs, because as we know, the Mavericks showed us, the Mavericks were a freaking 5 seed last season, and they got to the finals. If the Nuggets get to the finals, as long as we don't play the Cavs, I think we have an amazing chance at winning the finals. So we just need to, it's all about seed position. And if OKC is able to go out maybe in the second round or so, then we have a higher chance of trying to make it a push to the finals. And hopefully with all of this more resting of all of the starters this season, we'll have a lot more rest ready to play hard in the playoffs. So that's really kind of where my hopes are at right now, delusional as they might be. But then the next games here, so they play on the 29th, which is this Wednesday, on the 29th. They have an early game on ESPN, once again on ESPN, like freaking shit. I can't stand ESPN and how difficult it is to watch their games, but they're facing the New York Knicks on Wednesday at 4:30 West Coast time, which would mean 7:30 East Coast time. And then they will face the 76ers on Friday, the 31st, once again, ESPN. And then they have a back-to-back. So they go from Philadelphia, and immediately after that game, they have to rush over to Charlotte, because then they're going to be facing the Hornets to wrap up this road journey. And then they come back and they play on Monday, next Monday, they play the Pelicans at home, and then they'll play them again at home on that Wednesday. And then I believe they have a back-to-back then as well, and the Magic come in to the Mile High on the 6th. So this is what I'm talking about. We don't have an easy pathway at all right now. This is going to be an uphill battle, and hopefully the Nuggets will get back to how they were winning before, because these last 2 games have just been totally uncharacteristic of the Nuggets, and so maybe this second loss will invigorate them to win more, and hopefully we can sweep the Sixers. Hopefully we can even out the score with the Knicks, and hopefully we can start off with the Hornets on a good win with them, because they're ones that I feel like, as horrible as the Hornets are right now, they are one of those teams who has almost everything that they need to be successful. They just have that one thing that it keeps on making them lose games. So they are not some team to sleep on at all. But I will say it was noted that LaMelo Ball had an ankle injury tonight, so he may be out for that game. And if he is, again, we've lost to teams without their key star players before, so I still wouldn't put it past the Hornets to play as hard as they can against the Nuggets then. So a lot is left up in the air right now. It's very foggy, the future for the Nuggets right now. So, and with these losses, it's just making more and more of a convincing pathway for the front office to trade Michael Porter Jr. We've also already seen, Mikko Rantanen get traded from the Avs, which I know was a huge issue with his contract, and they just needed to free up that capital to be able to approach other players to not, be squished under that cap that they are under. And so I understand. I don't like it, but I understand it. And I just kind of foresee that happening with the Nuggets and Michael Porter Jr. being the result of that going in a trade. So hopefully they can get back to winning, make a convincing statement to the front office. Don't trade any of our key players, our core players, and we can move on and get more wins from this. But that's pretty much all I have for tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it out to your friends and family. And I'll be back on Wednesday for the Knicks Nuggets game. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it, but if not, I'm still gonna do an episode and share that out with you. So you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. We'll catch you later.